refrain from picking your nose. And they totally just, yeah, there you go. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to start that process.
Mine in for gold.
This is the BRG podcast episode 8 for February 15th, 2016. I am your host, WarpedJester, and tonight we've got a bevy of guests on. First and foremost, my wonderful and beautiful wife, Kerrowyn.
Hi.
And then in addition to that, we've got two wonderful friends of ours that we've known for quite a while now. First, we've got Brachy.
Hi.
And her lovely husband, Baldy.
Hello.
I swear to God, guys, I'm not kidding. That's actually his name. So run with it.
Technically, it's Baldrath.
He's got a bald ass too. Anyways, hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is our Cupid episode since Valentine's Day is technically coming up as of this recording, but will be past when we post it. But we wanted to have a special episode related to the whole loving online and gaming. So we'll definitely be talking about that in a little more depth. We're actually going to hear a story from Brachy and Baldy about how they met online. But first, we're going to go ahead and do the news. Okay. So, getting into this here, we're going to start off with some wonderful news. Nothing says loving like having all kinds of issues with companies, and I do love, all kinds of stuff like that. So Mad Catz. So for those of you who don't know, Mad Catz is a peripheral, a company that makes peripherals for PC and consoles of, I think they do Xbox and PlayStation 4. The controllers and all kinds of things like that. They had kind of a little bit of a shakeup here, and I find this a little bit kind of funny in some ways. Just in the fact that, they lost like 3 key people at the top of their list. And this includes, let's see here, we have Thomas Brown, who is a chairman and board of directors on the board auditing committee. Whitney Peterson, who is the senior vice president of business affairs, general counsel, and corporate secretary. And finally, last but not least, the immediate resignation of their president and CEO, Darren Richardson, who also lost a seat on the company's board of directors. So there's a big shakeup at the top here. Company didn't say why these people left or were asked to leave or whatever the case may be, so I don't know the details about that. And the best part about this is the day before the company's earnings call. So literally it was just like, hi, tomorrow's a big day for us, and peace, we're out of here. Whoops. And it doesn't end there, does it?
No, it doesn't. Well, I guess if you shake stuff enough at the top of the tree, it's just going to kind of keep on trickling on down because
I believe that's something that rolls downhill.
I think it's something that rolls downhill, but that might mess up our rating. They also cut 37% of their total workforce during restructuring. So Mad Catz posted earnings for the last quarter, and they were up and down. In the earnings report, Mad Catz announced a restructuring effort that includes a reduction of about 37% of the company's total workforce. Mm-hmm. And that includes the senior management, board members that recently bye-bye.
Disappeared.
So it's unclear at this time how many jobs are affected, but the headquarters reduction should mostly be completed by the end of the company's upcoming quarter. In the near future, Mad Catz said it plans to book a $3 million restructuring charge for its upcoming quarter, and that it's mostly made up of severance pay and benefits given to terminated employees.
Basically, they're putting a nice price tag on all the people they're giving the boot to.
So don't let the door hit you too hard, and here's a little extra money to help give you some padding.
Yeah, pretty much.
When all is said and done, Mad Catz said the move should save the company around $5 million per year. It's a lot of money.
Well, it's a lot of money, yeah. But here's kind of the odd thing about it, and this is something that I find very curious. Is this is after their last quarter, finishing out December, that they went through and they're saying that as of December 31st, their sales had jumped 114%, which is actually the second highest sales event they've had. Now, I didn't get into the notes here, but they attributed this to strong sales in the Americas, but they're saying that was offset by very weak sales in multiple other regions. So I wasn't sure how to parse that, because it was like, hey, yeah, sales were way up in this area, but they're down in these areas. But overall, we had a record earnings sale, like second best out of our 25 or 26 year tenure as a company, and yet we're stealing the herd and making cutbacks. I'm a little lost on that one.
Keep the profits coming by spending less money?
Well, it's got one thing right. You cut one person from the top, that's a lot of money you're saving right there.
Yes.
Right off the bottom. How much is the CEO worth? Let's find out.
Trickle, trickle, trickle.
Oh, boy, I tell you.
I wonder if it's about $5 million.
Yeah, no kidding. In other news, we found out some really interesting stuff here, and I had to put this article in, and I almost wanted to run this article as the main topic for today, but because it is a Cupid episode, maybe I'll go into this more depth later. But anyways, Amazon unveiled their new free engine for a PC or just game design in general. We're talking PC, console, mobile, and even VR. So the gaming engine is called Lumberyard, and I had to actually look at a couple of different articles to really get the full picture here, including going to Amazon and actually reading up on this. The thing about this is a lot of these companies, they kind of buried the real lead here. So they have Lumberyard, and again, this is a full game engine. For those of you who don't know, more and more companies are starting to peel away from having their own custom built engine from the ground up and using a pre-made service like the Unreal Engine or Unity Engine. So you basically have a base code that already has all the bells and whistles. That it's basically somebody went through and said, here is the architecture, the software that has the flowing effects of cloth and how people walk and character movement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Amazon's tossed their bid into their hat into the ring by doing Lumberyard. Now here's the really interesting aspect about this. First of all, this is actually based off the Cry engine. If anybody has any ideas what that is, it's actually a engine built by a company called Crytek, and that name should be familiar to some people because Crytek are the people that made the game Crysis. Crysis, that game that came out that no freaking computer could play because of the damn graphic level. Yeah, them.
I heard of it today.
Yeah, she learns today. But anyways, last year Amazon struck a deal with Crytek to the tune of like either somewhere between $50 and $70 million to license their engine, and that's what they based Lumberyard off of. So they've had a nice lucrative deal there. And then they find out that Amazon also tied something else into the mix, which is Amazon owns Twitch. That channel that all the kids go to now to watch people play endless games all day long live. Yeah. Lumberyard will actually tie into Twitch. So there's actually hooks already built into the the game engine, so you can actually pull in elements of Twitch. And this, they're very clear about what that is, but it could be things like you could actually have games that actually have the Twitch Play feature built into it. And Twitch Play, if you ever watched any of the Twitch plays, just look up on YouTube. It's actually where they play games like Pokemon by giving input from the text that's spamming by all the people watching. So all the text chat, people say up, 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 and they'll actually make the character go up on Pokemon. They just recently did a Twitch play where people were controlling one of those claw games, like an actual physical claw game. Yeah, those games are freaking annoying enough by yourself, and now you're going to have the masses of 1,000 people screaming and yelling trying to decide which way to go with it. Yeah, that's going to work well. They also just recently had one where they actually had a mechanical couch that they had people controlling to try to screw somebody up while they were playing a video game. Anyways, that's not even the end of it. And this is where the brilliance comes in for Amazon. Amazon ain't stupid. And they're not just diving into gaming just to be, oh, well, what the heck? Why not do gaming? Yeah, we sell online books and apparently wall decals of a nun giving a unicorn a blowjob.
Yay.
What?
Whoa, I heard
Still,
blowjob. Wait, I'm
really?
back.
Yeah. It's a wall decal. I'm not kidding you. Go to Amazon, look it up. Anyways.
Wipe the raid.
We'll get to that
I'm not
later.
playing White
Anyways,
Parade.
so for those of you who don't know, Amazon isn't just about selling stuff on their online store. Amazon also has services on the back end, called EC2 and AWS. Basically, Amazon has a huge rack of servers that companies can use as a virtual server environment. So Lumberyard, for a small fee, of course, will tie into that. So if you're a game developer, you can take this free engine, you can run with it, and on top of that, for a nominal fee, you can use Amazon's server in a virtual environment to start scaling your system up. So you start a game, say you want to do a massive multiplayer online game. You can start out with a small amount of services, just a few servers basically, to help do your development, and then add a few more as you start getting beta testers in, all the way through release and then some. So now Amazon's got this tool that says it's free, it's here, it's got tie-ins to the most popular platform for interaction from people, for Twitch, and we also have the service you can use for it too. So it's just like, there you go. You've got literally this whole wrap package that can draw developers in, and I don't know. I mean, this could put a real hurt on Unity and Unreal real quick. So, anyways, all the links are in the show notes, of course, as always. You can check out what Lumberyard is. The service that ties into the Amazon service is called GameLift, by the way. And like I said, they also use Twitch. Fun!
And in other news, Ark Survival Evolved has been added to Humble Monthly. For those of you who may have spent your entire lives playing on consoles, Humble Monthly is a PC subscription service from Humble Bundle. It's kind of like PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live's games with the Gold program. Consumers can pay a low price of $12 a month, and in exchange, they get a new set of free games.
Yeah. Have you guys ever checked out the Humble Bundle deals or the monthly service or anything like that?
Nope.
So I haven't done the Humble Bundle monthly service. That's kind of new to me in that sense. I've looked at the deals, and Humble, for anybody who hasn't ever heard of Humble Bundle, it's kind of a neat thing because they get developers to come together with games, will offer their games up, and oftentimes it's you'll get 3 games for $1 or whatever you're willing to pay, and then for however much you pay, from $1 to $1 million, they will then split that cost amongst the games that were offered and a donation or a charity that they're giving to. So if you have a charity that's, say, giving to childhood cancer, then they'll split that money between the developers and the childhood cancer group. So now they've got this monthly service as well. I think that's kind of cool, personally. Right? Yeah, that's the case.
Yeah, they've got some pretty popular games on there too. It's not crazy one-off games that you've never heard of. There's some actual names on there. So
they are. If you guys have a little extra cash in your pocket or burning a hole in it, I definitely recommend you head over to Humble Bundle because they always got a lot of games coming up, and they do cycle after so many days or hours. So there's always something new that you can go for. And like I said, if you can't afford much, I understand, but if you can, give a little bit. It does help. So that's kind of nice thing they have. Another thing I wanted to bring up here was actually regarding going back to the VR topic, and I know we've touched on VR quite a few times in the past episodes. That said, this is just really interesting. This is actually from Financial Times. Now, they speak very matter-of-factly as if this is going to happen, but the fact of the matter is this is a total rumor mill, so I'm going to run with it. They're saying that Google is actually going to be diving into the VR market with a little more sincerity than just the cardboard. again, this is all theory and talking from people who know, but there's nothing, there's no official statement from Google and like that. But basically, they're speculating that Google is developing a new virtual reality headset for smartphones and adding extra support for the technology into the Android application platform. This is going to be, better optics, plastic casing, a lot like the Samsung Gear VR, which was a partnership between Samsung and Oculus. The guys who do the Rift. Yeah, those guys. So it sounds like Google, if this is in fact true, which I could see it being possible, Google is actually going to be jumping into this market, and why not? I mean, VR is a really popular thing right now, so much so that you've got all kinds of companies come up with all kinds of new stuff.
Well, who hasn't wanted VR for what? Pick how many decades people wanted that to go live and everything. So,
yeah,
really popular thing. Hey, I remember when I was like 20, 30 years ago, I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. That's the thing that I want.
I'm down for that.
Let's not get into age here, okay?
Remember the Game Boy, or the little Nintendo, the hell that stupid thing?
Game Boy.
Game Boy, yeah.
No, Game Boy was a little handheld, but they had a little VR. Oh, Virtual Boy.
Oh, Virtual Boy, yeah.
Oh my god, I all about that one. Yeah.
I think everybody has just
maybe you can pull out your Virtual Boy and use it in a new virtual environment.
Yes, indeed. So we got Pantomime. They're saying that their virtual headset and smartphone,
Yes,
their VR headset and smartphones is going to share a virtual space and making it more social. So this will be interesting to see what happens with that. But the VR and the AR, that's the augmented reality, supposed to be a big business and everything. So by 2020, they're saying it's supposed to be a $120 billion market. So understandable how some people would be, anticipating that and pouring a whole bunch of money in there. That's a lot of money.
It's a big market for sure.
It's
and
huge.
We've had on several episodes, we've had topic and conversation about VR, just because it is a big deal. The one thing I give a lot of credit to this company for that I'm really intrigued to see, when you're looking at the article, you definitely read the article for sure because it gives you a lot of details, but just looking at the pictures, you get an idea of what they're talking about here. The idea behind this is it's not just hey, everybody can put on their VR goggles and go into a common virtual world. If you look at it, they're actually talking about the ability for anybody to join into the virtual environment regardless of what they have. So, for example, you see in the main picture, you've got guys with VR goggles on being able to look around, but then you also see what looks like the outline of basically a tablet or a mobile phone.
Or a smartphone, yeah.
And they can also view around as well. So it literally
is. Or praying mantis.
Yeah, I mean, laptops, you name it.
And multi-sided dice. I mean,
will you stop it? Don't encourage this. It's like feeding the monkeys, Anyways.
Don't feed the monkeys.
But if you don't feed them, they can't fling poo.
See, no, I'm not gonna get into it. Anyways, but yeah, I think this is really neat because this is an idea of creating a whole entire virtual environment with accessible in any format, which I think is kind of a neat idea. And then this is practical applications potentially, not just for fun screwing around in games, but you could have offices that have a full-on virtual office. People can move around and see each other. I mean, it's definitely something that's. I kind of look at it as a visual version of the old AOL chat rooms. And kids, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. just walk away from
young
now.
to be watching this podcast.
Oh boy.
No,
AOL chat
it's not worth your time.
Yeah, I don't know what those are. Were.
That's because you were too old by the time they came out.
You've got mail.
Anyways, let's change gears and talk about something that's not quite so tech. Let's talk about Media Bytes.
Media Bytes, all right. First up, and probably maybe exciting for probably the 2-3 people that haven't already bought it and played it. World of Warcraft may become free if you go see the Warcraft movie. I'm assuming it is Blizzard's way of trying to recover some of their big losses on their player-based population, but at this point, I don't think there's many people in this world that don't own World of Warcraft already. So it's kind of
has
neat.
Blizzard been dropping? This is
Oh, quite a bit. Yeah.
So I mean,
Subs-
it's not the
The,
subscription rates back, Wrath and Burning Crusade, where they're hitting 10 million. They're
Gotcha.
not.
They're
anything like that.
they're not.
So everyone always says, "Oh, yeah, the game's dying." You know
Oh my
what?
God,
Guess
it's the end
what?
of
You got a game.
days.
You got a game where people have 5 million players. The game's not dying. I don't care.
I was gonna say,
Lose
I think the next one in
500,000
line's a little short on that.
Yeah, even if you lose 500,000 subscriptions, it's not dying. It's not going anywhere soon.
Fair
But
enough.
it's definitely not even remotely close to its heyday.
it's to the point where people were kind of criticizing them, and back in late 2015, they actually stated that they are no longer going to be reporting their subscriber base or subscription numbers. They're
That's the first
just going
sign.
to ask you to trust them that the game is still going strong. Now, they are still, I mean, they still have millions of subscribers. We're not saying that.
That's like the guy standing up front with the cops and hearing this explosion go off. Don't worry,
It's fine.
it's not. It's nothing's wrong.
Nothing.
Nothing's wrong.
Right.
No,
No, the
yeah,
subscriptions are shrinking, but they always do about this far out of an expansion, and they've got another expansion coming up, which usually we see a resurgence of subscribers when
And
that
the
happens.
movie-
what's the name of the expansion? Just out of curiosity.
Legion.
Legion.
Legions, and no. Okay. So, I don't play WoW. You guys know where I stand on WoW. I've had this conversation playing with podcasts, but so the details for the movie is for moviegoers, they have a chance of getting the Ultimate Movie Edition, which will be the base game plus Burning Crusades, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mists of the Pandas, and Worlds of
Daria.
something another expansion.
Warlords of
Warlords,
Draenor. It's
Yeah, that one.
It's basically every
Draenor.
expansion that is currently out. You won't be getting Draenor.
That
Draenor.
explains why it's going down the
Or-
drain.
the Drano now goes faster.
Oh, God. Anyways, you're excited,
I am excited.
and why is that?
Well, but see, here's the thing: is I get excited, and sometimes I don't even know why, because this is actually the first I've heard of this. So,
Well, so
this
as
is
of right
very
now, it
exciting
is still
news
a
to me
rumor.
because it's brand new to me, and it has
Yeah, it's
nothing
still
to do
rumor.
with World of
It's
Warcraft.
not confirmed or anything yet.
Well,
Yeah, it's been posted on
confirmed?
Reddit. Blizzard has not confirmed it, and even if Blizzard did confirm it, they have
Oh,
a
no.
tendency to back out.
We're
things in
not
the last
talking
minute.
about that.
Well, we're
She's-
moving on.
she's excited because
I'm excited about something that I didn't know about before, which is a new Harry Potter book coming out.
Yeah.
How did you not know about this?
I
It's
don't
everywhere.
know.
Which
Maybe I
book?
just
I mean, I know I'm
I
blinded to
stayed off
things.
of Facebook too well the past few days, I guess.
See,
I don't
it-
know.
I'm telling you, it does things to your head.
Yeah, but then when I'm not on it, I miss things like this.
Well,
And this is a big one for me. Because apparently there was actually a stage play, which is
that's
now
been announced
being...
for years.
Long day.
Yeah, okay, so I'm out of the loop.
I don't know.
But
I
it's
enjoy
coming out
Harry
as a
Potter.
book, and I'm gonna buy
I enjoy
it,
Harry
and I'm
Potter.
gonna read it, and I'm gonna love it.
Now, bear in mind
For the
that
record,
book
she
that
read
is
the
coming
Twilight
out-
series. Just want to put that out there.
Oh, dear Lord.
The book that is coming
You can
out,
go visit the Fraggles.
the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, it was not actually written by the original author. It was written as a stage play she's consulted on, and then she edited it to make it into book form. But she did not actually write it, but she does consider it canon. So
Very
that's just
cool.
something to keep in mind if you're going out to buy the book.
Well, there you go. I don't know.
No.
I'm staying away from this. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here with one last little section I've actually added, which is gonna be on the calendar. This is gonna be a section where we're gonna talk about events, current and future. So to start off, we're gonna do birthdays. And
Happy birthday to
Blizzard.
Blizzard
There you go.
is turning
Blizzard.
25.
Hey, go figure. 25 years old. I don't even know where to even begin with this. Of course, I don't have the link for it.
No, you failed.
I am Tay fail.
They're not even trying.
But they do have a celebration video. Ta-da!
Yes.
And the CEO, Mike?
Just-
Mike M.
Mike M.
Wow, this is a first time. No, Blizzard has a whole bunch of content showing up, and they've got interviews. Mike does a little video kind of talking, or an interview with VentureBeat talking about kind of the history of Blizzard, where it came up from when they were Chaos Games, I think they were called originally. And it's kind of good fun. Don't get me wrong, guys. Just because I'm not real fond of WoW per se, I still have a fondness for Blizzard. Specifically, I liked Warcraft, but when StarCraft came out and then Diablo came out, I was desperately hooked. I loved those games to no end. They were fun as all get. I mean, in fact, I will still play the StarCraft, the original StarCraft, anytime. It's one of the best RTSs I've ever had a chance to play. So, I will not lie. I loved it. So, happy birthday to Blizzard.
Yeah. And speaking of other companies we love to hate, Facebook is turning 12.
Yeah, hooray for Facebook. Moving on. I cannot believe Facebook's been around for a decade plus. It's just, oh God. Anyways, so news coming up, and this is something that I say I want to kind of add to this show to give you guys heads up on things. First and foremost, the DICE Summit's coming up, and we talked about DICE before. DICE is the design innovation communicated.
Design, innovate, communicate, and entertain.
Thank you. Summit. That's held once a year. This is what we talked about that Hideo is going to be getting an award at for this work on a Metal Gear series. So that's going to be coming up. That's February 16th to the 18th out in Vegas. That's Nevada, USA for you people who are foreigners.
Nevada. If you're from Nevada, you pronounce it Nevada.
Nevada.
Nevada?
Like Vader?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Pardon me. Gosh, I knew this was going to happen. Also have the Mobile Growth Summit coming up. Mobile Growth Summit is a non-vendor, not-for-profit mobile user acquisition growth and monetization think tank at the forefront of the mobile industry, hosted by the Mobile Growth Fellowship. Basically, this is a summit people get together and talk about all things in the mobile element, usually like mobile games, things like that. Just help people try to learn how to work in this realm. So it gives them a forum to come to and do panels and whatnot. So that's going to be happening February 17th and 18th. And that's out at Mission Bay Conference Center in San Francisco, California, USA. To add to all that mix, because God, I didn't realize there's so much like game stuff that goes on. But there is the CEGC, which is the Central European Gaming Conference. This is a conference that happens out in Austria every year. This is going to be from February 17th through the 21st. And in case you can figure out from the name, it is an industry conference geared towards Central European gaming developers. Shocking.
They have those over there?
Huh? Yes, they do. Amazing, isn't it? Them European people's easy too.
My God.
You just don't play it because you can't speak Austrian.
Can you?
9.
My lineage is German. Does that count? I don't know. No, we should knock. They got better internet than we do.
Yes, they do.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a French podcaster. He just went to Denmark, I think. They've got gigabit down and 500 meg up internet connection speed. For the record, my high speed internet for ComSuck is supposedly 50 down, 35 up. It's like half of those either way. So yeah, screw this guy.
Well, it's because you live out in the boonies, and come on now.
Yeah, but they're pretty boonies.
No, they are.
Pretty
Really?
boonies.
They have
really
to
are.
feed the cable through the pine trees.
I will give that some other time.
Redwood.
Anyways, and off the rails. I'm just gonna build an off-road train for us, I think. There's also the Casual Connection in Amsterdam. Casual Connection in Amsterdam is a place to learn more about an industry which entertains billions of people each month Learn all about it for iPhone, social, Android, Flash, browser, MMOs, etc., etc., etc. This is out in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and that's going to be.
Yeah,
You
from,
had me excited for a whole different kind of casual there.
Yeah.
Connection sounds like
Well,
something else entirely.
We mentioned this in a past podcast, but they're actually opening up a gaming hotel in Amsterdam that literally is like every room has consoles, all different types of consoles, classic and modern, in the rooms themselves, and then the main lobby is going to have a bunch of stand-up machines and a library full of comic books.
I don't
and
think
pretty
that's
decent
the
rates, I
casual
might
we're
add.
going for.
Europe knows how to do internet. I'm telling you.
And then
Yep.
some. So yeah, this conference is going to be going on the 16th through the 18th, again out in Amsterdam, Netherlands. And then we also have Splash.
Ducky.
This is a very small little thing, but I figured I'd throw it in there just because it's the first time we've done the calendar breakdown. But this is a collaboration between two different game networks. That I'm not going to try to pronounce the names. I apologize. My Norwegian is a bit rusty, so I'll stay away from that. Basically, the goal is to create a more connected game industry in Norway. So let's try to kind of connect them and promote game development in Norway. That's going to be happening from the 19th through the 22nd in Norway. Again, not going to try to pronounce the name of the cities, but this is actually on a cruise ship up north of the top of the earth. That place up there.
North Pole.
The top of the earth.
There's an imaginary line that is significant. Anyways.
Oh, Canada.
Yes! Yes! Oh dear God! Also, there's also the Mobile World Conference. This is actually a big one, and even though this is not so much on the game front, I figured I'd throw this in there so you guys know. February 22nd through 25th. This is the big mobile conference in Barcelona. This is where you'll see all the announcements come for the new Samsungs and new technologies for AT&T and Verizon and all of that. This is the big deal. This is the Detroit Auto Show of mobile. Except it's not Detroit, it's Barcelona, and it's not auto, it's phones. So, yeah. Anyways.
Basically nothing like it.
It's kind of like it.
But do they still have girls in bikinis on rotating platforms?
Probably not.
Probably, actually, yeah. It's Barcelona.
Really? Oh, yeah.
It's Barcelona.
Yeah.
I know
It's
nothing about
Barcelona.
Barcelona. It's
Spain,
not. It is?
right?
Oh my god. Yes, Barcelona is Spain.
American. We're stupid. I apologize. I will say this up front. Also,
Yeah.
I
He doesn't
own
know the
that
top
one.
of the world either.
so
but,
if you guys ignore everything,
It's Barcelona, Mexico. I don't know.
What's that, Barcelona?
Chile? I don't know.
That there's
Um,
lieutenant.
If you guys
Let's see.
if you guys ignore everything else, pay attention to this. This is actually.
Really cool.
I love you. You're shiny.
Yeah, something.
So the GDC is coming up here pretty soon, and this is one of the Gaming Developer Choice Awards, and this is actually not happening until March 14th. But open right now is the Audience Choice Voting. So for the Audience Choice Voting, this is going to be open through February 19th. So if you get a chance, links are in the show notes. Go to the Google Doc they have and vote for the game you like the most. In addition to that, or kind of companion to that, there's also the Independent Game Festival. And again, this is not going to be happening until March 14th, but they're open and doing their Audience Choice Award picks as well. And again, the link is in the show notes. Definitely head over to check that out. Put your vote in for the game you like the most, and we'll see what comes up next month. So last but not least, just a quick little doobly-doo on things. The Division game has been popular and talked about a lot. I don't know much about the thing, I'm sorry. So I really can't tell you much about it there. But they're doing the next round of beta pre-order. It's going to be available as of February 16th, and the actual test period will be from February 19th to the 21st. So if you want to get on that, definitely take a look at the article. Again, link in the show notes, and you can find out what's going on and get yourself lined up for it. It looks like a fun game, don't get me wrong. It's definitely a different kind of gameplay, and for a couple people I've watched do like some little rundowns on it. It seems interesting. I won't lie. Oh, I do lie on occasion. Anyways, so that's the headlines along with some new stuff here. Let me know how you think of it. I do want to add some more stuff too. We're trying, kind of hard with 4 people here tonight, but we're trying to get to the point where we get the headlines down to a little more of a, let's blow through the headlines so I can actually get more headlines in for you guys. Yeah. So we'll try to get things moving a little faster, get a little more fun for you. I do want to quick break here. As always, let you guys know about the Ball Rocket Gaming Patreon. As always, again, we are a collective of people that are all kinds of creators, new media content people, everything from, again, map makers, YouTubers, Twitchers, you name it. We also have a lot of great talented people that can do everything from art to video bumpers, map designs for custom maps in like Minecraft, mod pack designers, web designers, you name it, we've got them there. So we try to create an environment where everybody can get together and actually promote them and connect them to you and connect them to each other to help them kind of get along in the world. I am a big fond person of a maker world, and I'm a person that will tear down a printer and then reuse it to make something else. So I love people who have talent and like to show it off, so we try to do that. Part of what we do here is all about having fun. The other part of it is paying the bills, and well, we do have to try to foot some of it ourselves because that's just the way things are. Any little bit people can help is always appreciated, so if you have the ability to, please feel free to pitch in here on our Patreon account and give us $1 or $2 if you can. It's always appreciated, so thank you so much in advance for that. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the main segment here. As talked about for the main segment is actually going to be our Cupid edition, and my wife is actually very excited. She actually came up with the idea and kind of ran with it, and I cannot thank her enough because it's a lot of work.
It is.
So
I have much greater appreciation for what you do for this show.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's fun. So give us a basic rundown.
All right. Well, the basic rundown for me is Valentine's Day is, in my opinion, not a real holiday. It's Hallmark telling us, hey, this is the day that you're going to celebrate that person that you love.
It's just to buy candy.
It is. And stuffies. The kids don't ever let me forget the stuffies.
Mm-hmm.
But
flowers.
Yeah. And flowers. Right.
All about
right.
flowers.
Where would the flower industry be without Valentine's Day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mother's Day.
So I guess what we're all doing is kind of looking for someone, or at least we've been told that we should be looking for someone. But if you're watching this podcast, chances are you spend
You're
fair bit of
you're
time.
probably watching it with your significant other.
Yes.
That's right.
Right. Or you spend the majority of your time online. So
With your significant other.
okay. But if you don't already have a significant other, how do you find romance online? So
Yeah.
I did a whole lot of trolling around on the internet, and I found a whole bunch of articles. This has apparently been researched over and over and over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I broke it down into 3 basic categories. So
Okay. Well, I see you got the categories here, so let's run down them. So, first of all, relations is built into games. Actually, I found this article like last minute. I had to show it to her, and she loved it. This is actually from a new site that I just found recently called The Married Gamers, and I'm already in love with these people. I want to reach out to them and say hi to them because they sound like a bunch of awesome people. But they put down the top 5 Friday for games you should play with your sweetheart. Some of these games I'm not familiar with, but the top or the bottom of the list they have at number 5 is BattleBuck Theater. I have not played this game. I don't know much about it, but they're saying this is definitely the kind of game you want to play. Number 4 on the list I have heard of is Don't Starve Together.
yeah, it's
And
called real life.
Yeah. It's a fun game, and it was originally rolled out as a single-player game, and they've since revamped it, and now it's a multiplayer game, so you can play with your significant other and try not to kill yourselves. So yay for that. They also go on to show Injustice God Among Us. I have not played that game, don't know much about it. Borderlands, the prequel, the pre-sequel. If you haven't seen Borderlands, look it up for no other reason than I think you'd like it just for the graphic value of it.
Okay.
Borderlands has a very specific look to it that is. Can you guys try to describe it? I mean, do you have?
Are you familiar with it?
Have you played Borderlands or seen it?
Borderlands?
Yeah.
I haven't. No, we haven't personally played it. You know, I've seen some of the graphics online, but I haven't gotten to get.
I'm trying to think of a style that expresses what go check it out, guys. Just look at Borderlands. It's really neat. The coloring and shading and everything they do, the hard lines. It's neat. So that's definitely up on the list there for him. And of course, Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. I haven't played that. I played Mario Kart. My son plays it incessantly. I actually sat down with him a while back to play and was thinking I was going to be nice to him. And,
Got your butt whooped, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm going to be frank on this one.
Play with him.
From my experience with playing Mario Kart with my significant other, I don't recommend this one. Because there's nothing like having your husband get up in your face and be like, "Oh yeah, eat that turtle shell." Eat it good.
Four-letter word.
Four-letter word.
It's a game that incorporates the concept of playing with your significant other while dealing with road rage and sticking things up somebody's bum.
Right. I'm surprised. This would be akin to back before gaming, online gaming, them saying, "Hey, you know what you should play with your spouse? Monopoly."
No.
And
I'm pretty sure Monopoly makes divorces happen.
As does Mario Kart. I think there's been more
the
than
point
one
she was
time
making.
that I've been like, I'm going out with the girls, you play with your car by yourself, and walk out the door.
Play with your car or play with your
Car.
Nevertheless, a lot of fun games. And again, the idea is kind of built around this idea. These are great games to play with a significant other, or at least a friend or somebody. So, check those out. If you haven't played them or haven't seen them, definitely look them up and see what you think of them, because they could be fun. I have to kind of agree with you, Jen, though. I think Mario Kart might be a bad thing.
I can tell you there's been more than one occasion when actually he yelled at me, "Did you just throw the red shell at me? Did you just throw that red shell?"
Oh, yeah. No, you didn't!
Well,
I don't know what she's talking about.
Well, if those games aren't something to your liking, or if you're not really into necessarily playing with your significant other on the games, whoa, I got totally off on that one.
Whoops.
I lost my place.
I don't know if you
GTA 5 is the next free multiplayer expansion.
Yeah. Let me like stupidly pull. There we go.
There.
Got it.
Ding.
Found it. Sorry, I hit the wrong tab. So GTA 5 is.
I can't say anything I'm thinking right now.
GTA 5 is releasing their next DLC. This is the Valentine's themed DLC. This is actually going to have a pair of new cars, the Albany Roosevelt and the Albany Roosevelt Valor. So in-game car, classic car you can pick up. There's also going to be a bevy of clothing items, including new suits, vests, boxer shorts, stockings, you name it. And there's also going to be Valentine's Day clothing, masks from the previous year. They also said they're going to be doing some new couples-themed anniversary modes called Till Death Do Us Part. Because nothing says love than dying together in a hailstorm of bullets.
Bonnie and Clyde, baby.
Yeah, you know it. This update will be available for the PC, the Xbox, and the PS4. And again, if you want to see the links on that, you can certainly look into it and find out a whole bunch about that. Now here's another one that you found, actually.
I did.
This is the top, 10 video game relationships 10 video game relationships actually worth a damn.
Yeah, so these are relationships that the game developers actually built into the game. So NPCs that relate to each other either in a platonic or a romantic sense, they took the time to develop these relationships enough to try to actually draw people mentally and emotionally into the game, as well as just navigating through it.
Gotcha.
It adds that element of something personal to care about, theoretically.
So make you more attached to it.
Yes.
All lovey-dovey and sappy and stuff.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I mean, this is actually something that even Extra Credits, which we talked about before, has brought up, bringing more depth to the game by trying to attach it to the characters a little more personally. So that doesn't exactly surprise me, but it's interesting because it's definitely something that's relevant nowadays. I mean, what do you guys think when it comes to the aspect of kind of like in-game romances? Do you guys do much like RPG games in the past, or ever played anything like that? No.
RPG games? Never.
I don't understand this RPG stuff.
This RPG, yes.
Okay, I'm talking about ones that actually have a storyline as opposed to go out and kill a goat 50,000 times to get the max level in a weekend.
Why did he go with a goat?
Yeah. Everybody knows that it bores.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both played. I think him more than me. I've dabbled in the Final Fantasy genres and whatnot. I know that some people really find them interesting, and especially with those relationships where you're supposed to start caring about the characters. Me personally, I didn't want to sit and watch a 20-minute movie. I wanted to go kill stuff. So
interesting. So I'm
more
kind of
into the
way.
FPS stuff than the RPG stuff. So
I love games that take a cinematic break or have a storyline built into them, because I think it does kind of draw you in. I'm one of those people that I'm happy to put the controller down, sit back and relax and watch a little bit. Yeah, I'm totally.
Hey, yeah, those
Totally.
cinematic breaks are great for pee breaks, or you need to make a sandwich. That's
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
See,
No
that's
love.
what I said.
No love there. All right. I'm getting the clue. So
I don't know,
this,
Trent. How do you feel about it?
I've always loved RPG games. I mean, since Final Fantasy, those are classics. I remember Final Fantasy VII. It's a huge classic. Those cinematics that they threw in there and everything were awesome. Part of the storyline.
I'm just
Wonderful.
curious if you've seen a difference in like the old versus the new, where they kind of went from a very shallow character and storyline to trying to give it more depth by putting emotion into it. I don't know if you ever pay attention to that or really cared or not.
Yeah, they do. I think it's, in my opinion, broadening their target audience.
Interesting.
In doing that, putting more depth into your characters and everything. There's a lot of people out there.
Trying to make people like Lydia and I not go to the bathroom.
Apparently, the two females that we have here aren't quite much into that depth and everything. But typically, the female demographic wants a little bit more depth.
Did you just
to
call
the
us
characters.
shallow?
I think he did.
So, anyways, moving on. Hey,
Moving
look,
on
there's
to
a
the next
post
topic of
from
conversation.
Post.
That was an excellent segue, ladies.
That was a great segue.
Can you?
So this was the
Oh
next
no,
comic.
you didn't.
Oh boy.
Woo! Okay, we're gonna keep on trucking. So the next realm that I looked into was, again, the just plethora of articles dealing with online gaming versus online dating, which is the better way to meet someone. And
A dark alley with a rag full of chloroform.
nap time.
And this is why they make him live in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm
oh
sorry.
my goodness. So coming back, again, apparently a lot more time was spent on this whole topic than I ever imagined. I thought this was kind of a new thing, but no, I found articles going back 2, 3, even 4 years.
A whole 4
I know,
years.
right? Can you believe it? Holy
Okay,
smokes.
well, but when you think about it, in the world of technology, something 4 years old is, like
Old.
Trent now.
It's like
I met you in
All the
EverQuest,
age.
and EverQuest came out in 1999, so there.
Whoa.
I remember back in the day.
I remember you had to actually walk up and say hail to a goddamn NPC to talk to him.
They're
Anyways,
have those
I'm sorry.
punctuation
Yeah,
marks
now
on
you
top
have
of their
Amtrak
heads.
us.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, from all these articles, what have you
From
found?
Well, the big thing that everybody seemed to agree on was that playing a MMORPG actually gives you a better chance of finding somebody than spending time on a dating site or multiple dating sites, as some people do. And the main reasons that they found for that, as this lovely infographic helps us see, they detailed that people tend to be more open and honest in game. It's a much more relaxed setting, which allows people to express themselves and converse more naturally. It may not always be a good thing, but at least you know that up front, right?
Yeah, I'm just. I mean, I can.
Open and honest equals jerks and trolls. I don't know. Huh?
Well,
yeah,
no, but in all honesty, though, we're talking about a situation here that I can actually get behind this, because we're talking about a situation where it's like, if I was trying to meet somebody online, there's that point you're trying to find somebody, you're trying to impress them, so you're trying to act proper. You get into a game, and more often than not, the first thing you're going to experience with somebody, at best, is them trying to be nice, as in, you know what, you're a really good healer, and I really don't want to piss you off because I like to group with you again. But that's saying you tend to be a little more candid and honest. You're going to talk to a gamer that's going to be like, F this, and screw that, and kill this, and oh my god, what are you doing, you noob? As opposed to being all, delicate and stupid, or being all, butch and stupid.
Well, it's like that,
that
rather popular,
okay.
that rather popular saying that's going around nowadays. You don't really know somebody until you watch them try to play an MMORPG with high latency.
America's internet.
If who they become in that situation is somebody you can live with, marry them now.
I can agree with that.
That kind of ties into the next one that they found, which is that the pressure of online dating just isn't there. So like you said, when you're trying to find someone, you feel the pressure of trying to behave or act well, make a good impression. That's just not there in gaming. You're more likely to be,
drunk.
Yourself.
Drunk in gaming?
I have honestly had, for sure, times where I've worked with people that either A, I know they're drunk, trying to play a game with them, or B, I really should be drunk to try to deal with them. So I'll be honest.
I find that drinking while gaming is just the best. It's the best way. That way you're not mad at the people who suck, and you don't care if people think or mad at you for being drunk. So
now, that said, we talk about the whole dating online services like Match.com and all that thing versus playing it in game. What the hell is this?
Uther? I don't even know how to say it.
It looks like Second Life.
See, I was gonna go for like grown-up Sims.
That we can go with that too. Sure. I mean, the body's wow.
Apparently, it's a place for people to create very provocative and suggestive.
I can see that.
And then go flirt with each other.
But this is not online gaming. Let's be clear.
No. This is Facebook with a character.
Oh God, that's like pulling a bag off of her in the middle of it and going, "Oh God!" Oh, kids, don't look that up, please.
Okay, so again, back to our actual official topic. It came down to time. People spend more time gaming, really, than being on internet dating sites. So they'd kind of go and they'd check to see if there were any new pictures or any new messages, and then they'd go back to their online gaming.
Shocking. Maybe if they had like a /gem in the dating sites.
There you go. Get people to stay around.
EverQuest reference.
So then we have the wonderful world of crossing the two. Now we have a dating site or multiple dating sites specifically geared for geeks and gamers.
So this is like farmersonly.com, but
gamersonly.com.
Do they have a good jingle for it?
I don't know, but the Farmers Only one is playing in my head right now.
You're welcome. So this actually talking about an actual dating site, but geared towards gamers.
Yes.
So we just talked about articles that say you do better off playing games to meet people than going to a dating site to meet people. And now somebody's made a dating site for the gamers.
Maybe it benefits the console gamers. I mean, they tend to be a little more isolated, right?
I don't know. LFG dating? That sounds a little PC to me.
Or she doesn't mean like PC, like, anyways.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody who's watching this thinks that I mean PC as politically correct.
Fair enough. Okay, I mean, I'd say I'm game, but obviously I'm not game. I've got my significant other right here for many years now.
We'll
So,
do it.
but I'm curious.
Sure.
I'm honestly curious if
Experimentation, why
something
not?
like this works. I have to kind of wonder though, because one of the biggest flaws of dating sites, and I can tell you right now, I used to work for a dating site called FriendFinder.com. The biggest issue you have
Dating
is
site.
dating. Dating. The
Ooh, that's a great
ratios
day.
of the ratios of compatibility, male versus female, are usually a little bit askew in most places. And I would kind of think that things like specifically gamer type dating site would probably be a little more extreme in that sense.
Lot of boys
You know, I-
and a couple of girls.
I would actually disagree. I think there's a lot more female gamers out there than people give us credit for. I think, especially
Wait,
in the
you're a
gaming
girl?
I know, girls
Dude,
don't play.
Trey, all right, yeah, way to go, Baldy.
But to be frankly honest, I think in the gaming community, like actually in the game and submerged in the game, I think a lot of girls pretend to be guys simply so that they can just game.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm sure that's a conversation for a whole other podcast.
but that is kind of part of the whole thing of when it comes to finding the right people.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the problem
I
is
can't tell you how many times when I personally would not admit to being a girl until I got to know somebody, and then I'd be like, dude, I've got a confession to make. I, wasn't out trolling for chicks last night. I'm actually a chick myself. And,
just because you're tricked doesn't mean you can't troll for chicks. But anyways.
Again,
Fair.
a whole other podcast.
for a whole
Yeah,
other-
No, but that is another aspect about this that is difficult. And this goes for, granted, when you're on a dating site, you're specifically looking for somebody to date. But in any environment, whether it's gaming online or going to a friend's party or going for a run at the park, whatever, there's a lot of those. There's people out there that aren't desirable, that are going to harass you, and let's face facts, especially in the finally settled wake of Gamergate and all the stupidity that came with that. There was definitely a lot of people out there that aren't going to be polite to the female populace, and I don't want to. I really don't want to go into a big sordid thing about male versus female and relationships of different match types. It's the fact of the matter is it's been shown that women do have to be a little more careful because, quite frankly, guys are a bunch of douchebags, and
They're jerks.
they show it a lot more prevalently online. Partly because people feel that kind of
Anonymity.
Yep, that's
that one.
huge.
They can hide behind a
Not
character.
the C kind, not the anemones.
No, not the anemones.
Yeah. But it does make it difficult. But at the same time, it's odd because you're talking about that forum that makes it easier for people to be jackasses. It also becomes a safe haven that makes it easier for you to get to know somebody. You have that artificial barrier of kind of a safe haven. You're talking to an elf or a paladin or whatever, and not the real person per se. So you can get. She's a paladin. I'll just tell you that now. That's why I said it. I remember.
Don't judge her.
Oh, okay, tree.
Shamans are better, but anyways. But so the point is that it's funny because the same tool that can be used for ill is also something that can be used for good in this case, and actually meeting people. It makes it more comfortable and easier for people to talk to each other, get to know each other.
One of the reasons I think that it allows for that is if you're on a dating website and you're filling out your profile, you can walk away. You can spend hours on that thing, tweaking it and modifying it to make you be exactly the person you want to present to the opposite sex or same sex, whatever you want to do. But in a
I
game,
agree.
it's instantaneous. Somebody messages you, and you can't be like, "Oh, give me 2 hours to draft a proper response." You have to respond the way you would naturally respond.
Yep.
So
That's a good point.
yes, it does kind of lend itself toward people who keyboard warriors. They feel that safety behind their computer screen, and they say things they would never actually say to your face in real life. But that actually kind of helps you weed out the jerks so that you don't end up going to Starbucks and having a cup of coffee with them. As opposed to an online dating website where this guy looks perfect, and the next thing you know, you're chloroformed in the back of his car.
Wait a minute, you don't look like Brad Pitt. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean this is a big deal, and again, I love this because it does confirm something that, I mean, we all know very personally about making connections online. From the friendship point of view, I got Kerrowyn into the original EverQuest, and we became a dynamic duo because she was an awesome cleric. And I'd pal around with her and teach her stuff. And we actually met you, Bracky, on the server. We actually, I think it was Pollutal Caverns. Brocky,
Yeah.
whatever. Our little bunny.
I was Pinadwenning at the time.
Yes, you were.
But ironically, when I first met you, I met WarpedJester first, and his character's name at the time was Destiny.
Destiny the Troll.
And a girl, if I remember right. So I genuinely thought he
No.
was a girl.
Not a girl.
You were
My
a girl?
character is a boy. I'm one of those guys that actually plays guy characters.
I thought you were a girl. I thought you were a girl, and that's pretty much the only reason I talked to you was because I thought you were a chick and you'd be safe to hang around with. And then I met Kerrowyn, and I'm like, wait, she's a girl too. Oh, that's kind of cool. I made my first online lesbian
Seriously.
friends. And then we actually talked on a wipe, and I'm like, oh,
you've been accused of
he's
being
so not a
I'm
girl.
a giant green dude that scratches his ass incessantly. I don't know. Anyways, nonetheless, but it was great. She was poking around there trying to find a body of somebody she was with, and we helped them find it. We ended up hitting off, and that relationship steadfast for quite a while because you ended up getting into a guild doing raiding and all kinds of stuff, and you kept dragging Kerrowyn along, even though she wasn't in that guild, and taking care of her. And matter of fact,
I made her heal me. I wanted to be healed, so she had to come along.
Yeah.
I was a half-elf paladin in EverQuest. I died a lot.
And you kept her
When
alive.
Nope. I kept her alive.
Except when Kerrowyn was around. Yeah.
She kept the mobs off me so that I could keep her alive.
Which is a good thing.
Which was a lot of times of doing like, I'm up, I'm dead, I'm up, I'm dead, I'm up, I'm dead.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah, I like to corpse bounce a bit.
And that's the thing too is I've definitely in my time I've had a lot of friends that I've from real life that I've dragged into games to play with. Most recently, my friend Tweak that I play World of Warships with, you guys seen in my my channel. We actually kind of lost touch because real life got busy and hectic and whatnot, and we reconnected by playing World of Warships and Titanfall. But then on top of that, you also can find romance,
Lifelong friendships and romance, yeah.
And to that point, you guys found each other, right?
We found each other on World of Warcraft, yeah.
Ooh.
I won't hold that against you. Because...
Hey, you sucked me into it.
She's a...
All right.
Anyways,
Kerrowyn sucked me into it.
tell us a story, guys. How?
When did you do it?
What
How did we
happened?
first meet?
Oh yeah, how we first met. So way back in the day,
Before dual specking.
before back in the Burning Crusade expansion, we were looking for a dungeon, and there was one guy that I knew. He knew her. We formed a group. I was tanking. She was healing.
It was like the one weekend
The
of that
one week
entire year
that she
I
was
healed.
healing.
I
Yep.
never healed.
No, she always hated it. Hated it.
Hated it.
And he said, "Hey, let's do this." So we did a dungeon.
All the way
2,
up?
3 pulls before the final boss, and all of a sudden she just disappears.
Totally went AFK.
Gone. And we sat there for
like an hour?
An hour or so, and we were on vent at the time, so we were chatting and everything, and making fun of the other people we were running with, which is all kinds of great fun, having a great time. And she just up and disappeared, and me and what's his name? I can't remember his name now.
You
We
know,
sat
that
there
guy.
BSing for a while, and after about an hour, we're like, I don't know where she went. I don't know.
Yeah, so
Gone. How'd that work out for you?
I was getting a delivery. Jester will probably appreciate this. I had ordered a gun safe from Costco, and the delivery driver was having trouble navigating it into my garage, so I had to go help him, and it just became a whole.
How could that be hard? You open the big giant door that cars go through.
Well, it was because of where I wanted it in my garage, and I'm very particular about how I want my stuff, and so anyway, hey,
So you got up and left them high and dry.
Oh yeah, and here's the
my
great
gun
thing.
safe was important.
I don't think it wasn't even like, hey, this is gonna take a bit. It's like, oh, 1 second, and then like next thing we knew, it was like,
Well, because it was just a ring at the doorbell, so I thought I was like, oh, okay, I'll be AFK for a second. I'll tell the missionaries to go away, and because the safe wasn't supposed to be delivered until the next day, so the guy was early and I wasn't expecting it anyway. So yeah, so then a couple days later he logs on and he hadn't been saying hi to me, but I put him on my friends list because he was an awesome tank, and he kept not saying hi to me. So finally I whispered to him, like, dude, you never say hi anymore. As if I hadn't disappeared for an hour.
yeah, on the
last
first event that we ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, you're cool. Peace out. Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Like, look, I'm gonna disappear for a couple hours.
She bails
not
on
talk
you. You
to
think to
again.
yourself, this is it. This is the woman for me.
Yeah. Check the box right there, baby. That was on my need to have that in my life. Wow, she ran away. I really
So you did you not have her on your friends list? Did you already write her
No,
off?
I did not.
No.
No, I didn't at the time.
No.
I didn't.
So
I
you
don't think
chased him down.
Yeah, I chased him down. Well, I didn't really chase him down. I'd put him on my friends list.
Ball peen.
Ball Peen. That
was
was
his
Ball
name.
Peen Bull.
Ball peen bull.
Yeah.
Oh, shiny. Sorry.
So you have to understand where I was coming from. I was a guild leader, and I was our main tank, and we had another tank who was good, but he wasn't great, and we wiped a lot because he didn't always
What?
taunt at
Voodoo?
the same time. No, Voodoo wasn't our main tank at the time. He was DPS.
Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, so I'm like, I was always on the lookout for a good tank. This guy was a good tank, so I put him on my friends list because I'm like, I am going to totally snipe him from his guild and make him come tank with me.
So the
That was-
romance wasn't there yet. You were just looking for
The
function.
romance was not there. Actually, the
Oh, no.
romance wasn't even there.
Romance didn't happen for quite some time. Yeah, it was friendship. Really good friendship.
Friendship first.
Yeah.
So we started talking after we talked online for a while. We exchanged phone numbers, started talking offline, and one day he called me and he was complaining about roommates in Utah. We live in Utah.
Roommates, yeah. They're
And
awesome.
he's like, I can't find any good roommates in Utah that won't flip a lid when I drink, or
I hate it when those lids get flipped.
Yeah,
I can
hey.
tell you why, but that's another comment for another day.
I'm keeping it PG for you guys. Baldy's not normally a PG guy, so I got to do a lot of on the cuff editing here. So I who won't flip a lid when I drink, or I have a party, or I brew coffee in the morning, and I had been looking for a new place to live anyway. So I said, well, what if I moved to Utah? And I was living in Nevada at the time.
Nevada.
Nevada.
And he's like, wait, seriously? And I was like, yeah, your birthday's next week. What if I move out for your birthday? So he flew out the day before his birthday and helped me pack my stuff, and we drove across the state of Nevada and
Good times.
moved here. We got a 2-bedroom apartment, and then quickly realized we enjoyed spending time with each other more than the people we were dating or trying to date.
So
So
wait a
then we
minute.
got a 1-bedroom apartment.
Hold on. I'm
I
sorry.
lost
I
it.
need to back up here for a second. I just want to make sure I'm following the timeline here. You met online. You blew him off for the one time you actually hung out. And then
Yeah.
pestered him because you wanted to snipe him for your guild.
Yeah.
And at some point, this led to, this guy's really good for my guild. How about we move in together as roommates? We're not even talking about romance yet. We're still at the I like you. You're a cool guy, and you can take a hit.
By the time I moved to Utah, I'd already swiped him to my guild. Like,
Oh,
he
this
was
is-
in my guild. Yeah. That goal had been accomplished.
But
That
still,
was- yeah, this
we're
was-
talking about
this was
now.
months-
You're like
months later.
secure. You're making sure this guy's not gonna like up and like, oh, I'm sorry, but this other guild offered me some cool
Yeah,
armor.
I'm not letting him get re-sniped. No.
This is a woman dedicated to her guild.
Yeah. I'm all about the progression, yep.
You're way too white to say that. Please don't ever.
So no, it was honestly like we were talking online. Like every time we logged into the game, we'd start chatting with each other, and there was one point where I had to go. I actually think I came out to visit you guys, and I was like, I'm gonna be offline for a while, and he was like, well, I don't want to go that long without telling you what's going on. And I'm like, well, okay, here's my number, and that was kind of like it was very casual. It wasn't like
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, let's hook up or anything like that. It was just we hung out like it was months from meeting to even the phone number and everything. We'd talk all the time, and then it was just like, oh, hey,
And then before I moved here, I actually did come to visit for a week. Weekend.
Weekend.
Yeah, weekend. I drove out. It was a very long drive for a very short stay.
Almost turned around about 5 minutes away from that.
Yeah, I kind of because I'm like, I'm driving to another state to meet a guy that I met on the internet. Like, I'm gonna die.
At least you've talked to him, got to know him online. I mean, there was like a reduced chance he's gonna have a rag full of chloroform.
Well, and I brought one of the guns from my gun safe, so it was okay.
Oh Jesus!
I'm not kidding.
But then again, you have to also think about like back then, there wasn't the whole. It wasn't quite as popular to meet online.
Meeting online was
and
still
do
a
all
little
that.
bit taboo.
There's a huge stigma against it.
Because we're talking about 2008 when this happened, so it was
Way
still.
back in the day. Actually,
That is.
yeah. I'm sorry, but what? Trust me, kids. When you get older, you'll understand this. Time tends to get away from you really quickly. 2008 is actually a while now.
A while ago,
While
yeah.
ago.
So I remember actually when I first met his parents, we didn't admit that we met online. We claimed actually that we met through you guys. That he knew you guys and he
You're
was out in
welcome.
California.
You're
Right.
lucky we had
Yeah.
you guys hook up.
Yeah.
White lies.
Yeah,
what do they
whatever.
need to
Yeah.
know?
Me and
So
Baldy,
we
we
played
go
with
way
you
back.
out in
College
California.
days, drinking.
Yeah. And that we met at a party and exchanged numbers and emails, and that's how we met, because we didn't want to admit to his family that we met on the internet, because his family was very like, ooh, internet's a scary place.
Well, my family already had a negative viewpoint of gaming, be it a computer or otherwise.
Yeah.
Another
So-
still taboo thing, especially back then. And again, guys, this is one of those things you have to understand that even though it seems like a short period of time in some senses, they're not kidding. Meeting people from online, gaming in general was frowned upon. You were wasting your life singing games.
Yeah.
Meeting people online was
Oh yeah,
dangerous.
we had a lot.
Oh yeah.
It
Yep.
was a taboo thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having a conversation with my sister once where I tried to explain to her what a paladin was.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, your sister is so pretty.
And she was so adorable about it. And you could tell she was really trying to see why I thought it was fun. But really not getting
So-
it. And she was like, so you use magic? But honey, you're not magical. I know. It's on the internet.
So through all of this, through all the taboos and the lies, and again, this is the dedication of somebody to get somebody into her guild and keep them in her guild.
Yeah, and so, I moved out here, and like I said, we got an apartment together, and it was great, but we had so much in common. I mean, that like you were talking about before, that base of here's a game that we both spend a lot of time in, that we both really like.
A lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time.
I'm gonna full on admit that a lot of time.
A lot of time. It was
Guilty.
like work, game, maybe nap for an hour, game, then go back to work. Oh, expansion came out. Take a week off.
Take a week
work.
off of work. Oh yeah.
That's dedication right there. You
we
know
both
the real
stock-
players.
Stock up on
with-
Red Bull and alcohol.
Yes. and lots of snacks because you didn't want to have to leave the house until you were at max level again.
Exactly.
You know, that was something we really had in common. Of course, we had a lot of other things in common, which we figured out as we got to know each other once we moved in. As we're trying to merge our book collections, and we realized we both have a lot of the same books or a lot of the same movies, and yeah, it just kind of grew from a friendship into, well, why are we paying for a 2-bedroom apartment when we really should just have a 1-bedroom apartment? And then he talked me into marrying him.
Did you post her on the
Oh,
Actually, how
that
it
was-
happened.
That was some talking.
Yeah, it took
That
a
was some
couple
talking.
years. It frankly took a couple years because I didn't really see the point, and then he made
And not good experiences. With,
and bad experiences in the past, and he made a
So-
point that I couldn't argue against. So
What was
We
that?
got
To go to
married.
another guild?
yeah, he.
I tell you what.
If you don't marry me, I'm going to Echelon. No, it wasn't.
Oh, wow, those people.
It wasn't that extreme.
Those two guys that ran
They
with us, we were
I know.
making fun of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, sorry. Shiny.
so shiny. No, he made the point of if we were going to spend the rest of our lives together anyway, which we both had decided we wanted to do, that he wanted to show the rest of the world that he really meant it.
Oh.
I know, cheesy, huh?
Yeah, you fast
Awesomely
forward. How long have you
cheesy.
guys been married now?
We got married in 2011.
The
5 years this year.
fall.
Yeah.
And
5 years.
And on top of that, you've actually spawned a few baby gamers as well.
I
Yeah.
am rocking some of the procreation that we have done at this moment.
She won't
I'm
go to
surprised.
sleep.
I'm surprised you haven't heard
Should
her in the
pick her up.
background every
Oh,
now and then.
we've
we've
heard
definitely
her.
heard her. This is that nasty yank.
Yeah.
This is the side effect of finding love online, guys. Is you get cute little things like this. We
She's freshly spawned. She hasn't
And-
quite dinged one yet.
and I'll tell you guys, if I can get a picture of this from you guys, I'll definitely put it up in the after show, or at least a link to it. They had the cutest little baby announcement for the youngest one there.
Yes.
Oh, I can
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
send that to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll put that up on
that.
the screen right now so that you guys can actually see it, because that was like the cutest thing I'd ever seen. I was, it's one of those things that when I saw it, I kind of looked at it and went, you know, I actually kind of hate you a little bit just because I didn't think of that.
I'm not gonna lie, we got a huge positive reaction to that. Not
Yes.
just from like our gaming geeky friends, but like cross spectrum.
Yeah,
Like, it
even
was
people
really-
who maybe they've only ever played Super Nintendo and then they grew up and they stopped gaming.
Everybody's played a game. They understand it.
Yeah,
you
they
spoke-
all had
you spoke
a
perfectly
level of
simple
appreciation.
language.
Even my father, who types with one finger, one letter every 2 minutes, he still had the appreciation for just how appropriate it was for our relationship and our friendship and just
It's-
how fun it was.
It's great.
Awesome.
I'm always tickled. I know, honestly, we sit around, joke around here tonight. I haven't had a chance to even talk to you guys in the very. Matter of fact, me and Baldy haven't really talked hardly at all. So this is trying to us get to know each other a little bit. I mean, even though we have known each other since college, and you guys met through us, but
In college.
Yeah.
we
At the
had.
frat party. That's where we
Yes,
both were
yes,
at it.
frat
party.
Frat
Yes.
We're
Yeah.
planning on Have You Ever?
Yeah. but seriously, and I have a lot of fond memories of us hanging out together in game back when we played EverQuest. and it's really neat to see people making connection, and it's not just a flight, a momentary thing. You guys have really connected. Obviously, you've furthered the gaming lineage now for the next
Absolutely.
generation.
I'm waiting for them to get old enough to farm gold for me.
Cheap labor, I like it.
It's the dream, right? That's it. It used to be, I want my kids to be old enough to mow the lawn. Now it's, I want them to be old enough to farm gold.
I feel the same way, I swear. It's like, yeah, cheap labor is split wood. I'm like, now that you mentioned that, it's like, I got some things, some challenges I got to do in World of Warships. I should set my son down from my account.
Yeah.
Let him have at.
Yeah, as credits. Those ships get expensive. This is a good idea.
Yeah, I'm saying. I know how to plan these things.
Oh, God.
But, I mean, it was definitely romance. But like you said, we've got the friendships. I mean, I met you and Kerrowyn, and actually the minister at our wedding was one of our guildmates.
One of our guildmates. He went and got ordained so he could marry us.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, yeah, it's not all about the dating, but it definitely has its rewards.
Like you said, this.
Or I mean,
Well, this gives you the understanding, guys. Is we're not sitting here talking about the kind of our thoughts on what we could speculate about, online gaming versus online dating aspect. We're true to the fact. You guys found each other through game. I can also say that me and Kerrowyn, our relationship was certainly strengthened. I mean, I myself had just gotten out of a pretty rough relationship. Really didn't want to necessarily get into another steady relationship. And she walked into my life. We got to know each other. Fun story about that, I'll tell you sometime. But part of the strengthening was we got along so well, and she sat down and played EverQuest with me and other games going forward. Now we play World of Warships together. If it's not something that you find somebody and connect through, it's strengthening a relationship. We've been married for 12 years, have 4 kids who are already hopelessly addicted to the games. At least 2 of them are.
I remember when you guys got married. I can't believe it's been 12 years already.
I know.
12 years.
Like I said, as you get older, things go by very quickly.
Way too quick.
You on a real head trip, that little girl you came out for the birth of is going to be 10 this year.
A decade. So, like I said, guys, we can say from personal experience, like literally personal experience. I have to agree with the post. Sometimes finding somebody, it's not just about. I mean, definitely, get out of the house, go take a jog.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
unplug for a little bit.
Can.
Yeah.
But don't.
Hey, I will say this. He had the choice of 2 different ways to propose to me. One was at BlizzCon, because we were leaving to go, and he chose a nice hike up to a waterfall.
Oh.
Because as much as we're plugged in, sometimes you gotta unplug.
Yeah.
So.
What continent was the waterfall on? I'm just curious.
I think it was on the northern side of the.
Was it on the top of the planet?
Yes, it was on the top of the planet.
The westernmost part of the top of the
No,
planet.
it was kind of
On the sidey part.
The
Yeah.
sidey part. You know where the green is? That's between the 2 blues. It was in there.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Anyways, honestly, and to the point we talked about earlier, if there is anybody out there that still has any kind of resentment or sentiment against the idea of online is a connection point. We've talked about the virtual world and the connectivity people have through that, through VR, AR, or just sitting in front of a computer screen to know people. You're still connecting with people. And this is the wonderful thing about the internet and gaming is that you do have a chance to meet a lot more people, quite frankly. You're not going to meet somebody that's in a state away.
Much bigger.
Yeah. So you have a much bigger dating pool and everything else. So don't be shy about that. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you sharing sharing your story with us. It's wonderful. And like I said, it's one of those things that I think I can agree with you, Kerrowyn. Valentine's Day really is kind of a pay money for chocolates and all that kind of crap, but it doesn't have to be. It's if anything more, it's an excuse to have a reason to go out and do something nice, to go see go see a romantic movie with somebody. I'm taking her out
Deadpool.
tomorrow for Deadpool. So,
how are we all on the same page on that one?
It's like we've tried to teach our kids. It's not about necessarily going out. I don't buy her a giant box of chocolates or a diamonds are forever ring or anything like that. The things I've given her in the past that she's cherished the most, and she's told me, I have to believe her. I don't think she's lying to me. It's the homemade things, the thoughtful sentiments, things like that. Make them personal, make them wonderful. Whether it's in game or out, do something nice with a significant other or a good friend or something. And again, spend some time with them, whether it's online or in real life. Definitely do that. So, anyways, guys, I do want to get us moving forward and wrapping up here. I keep trying to get us down to an hour, and somehow it just keeps escaping me here. So I'll try to breeze things through real quickly. As always, if you like what you see, if you have questions, comments, input, thoughts, whatever, feel free to head over to the Ball Rocket Gaming website and give your thoughts. We do have a feedback in our forum for the podcast. You're welcome to drop ideas in there and thoughts and whatnot. We had some input from Trav, one of the people in Ball Rocket, about some articles. There's they have a new gaming house in Australia, which is where he's from. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it into the lineup, but there's a lot of fun stuff there. And there's a new mobile app, mobile game for like Miley Cyrus or somebody. Apparently, there's one for Kim Kardashian too. So yeah, if you want to keep things like that, definitely check out the forum. You can keep up with what's going on with the podcast there as well. Speaking of feedback, just real quick, we had some feedback from ADDF Toxic, who loves commenting on things. He made a comment about playing games do take some skill. True, yes. This makes me feel the same way as when people say electronic music takes no skill. This is in reference to the comment made last week about a competitive skier that said that e-gamers shouldn't be getting X game medals because it's not the same thing. You have to do a physical sport to make it really count. I take a negative tone towards that, and I agree with ADF Toxic. I've had people who actually say that, electronic music isn't the same thing. It doesn't require skill. You can make things happen, but it does take skill. Trust me. I know because I don't have any, and I can't make the music. Also, Scion from BRG commented saying, team play in Rocket League is now someone is definitely going to get drunk. This is a reference to Snapskip, who was a guest last week in his episode of his Drunk Rocket League. Have you guys played Rocket League, by the way, or ever seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, look it up. It is a game that you can watch on YouTube and actually be enthralled with. It is RC cars, soccer.
Oh dear.
It is epic. It's fun as all hell to play. I realize that. And Snapskip from who guest us last week, he was trying to think of the name of a game he couldn't think of the name of, and he finally remembered it. It's called Dark Souls. So you can look back to the episode and you watch it. You can find reference in there. Like I said, guys, definitely if you want to check us out, put any information in, always head over to BRG. That said, other things you definitely get yourself into is into trouble. No. Actually...
Always.
My dear, tell us a little bit about you, because you are yourself a maker of sorts, aren't you?
My dear, are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you. Yes.
Rocky.
Rocky.
I'm in front of your wife, honey.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, no, I actually I make necklaces and keychains. I have an Etsy store. They are all designed to raise awareness about congenital heart defects, which is a cause very near and dear to my heart. Our oldest daughter was born with 4 of them and had to have open heart surgery within a couple days after she was born. So My quest now that she's doing better is to just raise awareness and help people realize what's going on. And so my jewelry is to help raise that awareness, but also to give people something pretty to wear, especially those that have been affected by the congenital heart defects.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And there's some beautiful work I see here. I love some of the stuff here. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. It's something I just started doing, so I'm definitely honing my skill. But it's been a lot of fun, and I've done a couple custom orders, and I think that's my favorite is making something very personalized too.
I can understand. That's really neat. And guys, like I said, as always, we'll have the links down in the show notes. Definitely stop by her shop here and check things out. Find something for yourself. And also a good gift for that commercial day they call Valentine's.
Yeah, if you pay me extra, I'll ship overnight.
There you go. Now you also do a blog?
I do. It's not updated as often as I'd like because I do have 2 very young children, but it's about raising my family from the aspect of the heart defects, of just being a mother in general, of being a gamer, as well as trying to be a mom, and just, the everyday things families go through and whatever strikes my fancy on the news.
Fair enough. And Baldy, you're just kind of along for the ride, aren't you?
Totally.
Anything else you do besides play WoW, or is that even happening anymore now you've got 2 of them running around?
He takes care of the dishes and the laundry for me.
I'm a boring old house husband at the moment. No.
Fair enough. Well, this is definitely, like I said, guys, definitely go and check out the Etsy account and check out the hearts and other jewelry she's made. Like I said, it's gorgeous, and definitely stop by the blog. Speaking of blogs and other things going on, now you do stuff too. Now you haven't done stuff lately.
No.
But nevertheless, definitely, I didn't get that in there. Did you actually add anything in there? You did, and I somehow missed it.
Add
Let me
things
put that
in
up there for you.
Oh.
So you've actually, I'll be honest, you have a gorgeous voice.
Thank you.
And you have a SoundCloud account with some of that sampling.
I do.
Although you're shy about it.
Very.
She has a gorgeous voice, ladies and gentlemen. She really does, and I cannot get her to sing in front of a small group of people for crying out loud.
No.
It's sad. I suck at singing, and I
Give
can
me a couple
sing.
of beers and Rock Band, and I'm good to go.
She's had like 3 of these.
No,
I'm just going to back you up on this. She very graciously sung at our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beautiful, and we got
Yes, it
so
was.
many compliments. She has an amazing voice, so please definitely follow her.
So you can check her out on the SoundCloud account. She does have a bevy of blogs she tends to pick up and drop, but
Yeah.
I'll put the links to the current ones in there.
That one that you blipped by is my favorite.
I'll put it back up. But
Cool.
Yeah. The magic of post.
Ooh, yes.
But yeah, so she's done a bevy different blogs, so you can definitely follow those. I'll put the current one up there, so you guys can check that as well. So didn't keep up with these 2 beautiful ladies. I myself, as always, I have my my gaming account for YouTube, and of course my personal account. I'll give you the same spiel I give you every week. I'm sorry, I've been busy. I haven't had new stuff put up yet. I'll get around to editing it soon. Yada 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 yada. I do actually have a post up regarding the new Inside the Gamer Mind interview series I'm going to be doing. I've already got one person who's looking into it as part of the Loch Ness Brothers, so I'm going to line up some time with him to see about doing the recording, and I'll kick off that new series. Look forward to that. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Of course, guys, ladies, gentlemen, and lovers of all types, please head over to baldrathgaming.com. Again, we are a collective of people that just are about having fun and getting together. We do monthly live streams on our Twitch account. We constantly go back and forth and give input and share details. We also have a lot of groups on there, including the BRG news group, where we tend to spit out a lot of quick blurbs about deals and freebies and news bites, things that don't make it into the podcast themselves or just won't be relevant in time for the podcast. So you can just keep connected there and keep up on things. So there's all that good stuff. And of course, like I said, we do have our Patreon page. So if you can spare a few dollars here and there, every dollar counts. It really helps us out. So thank you so much again in advance for that. And thank you so much, Rocky and Baldy. I appreciate it again, guys. It was an absolute blast. I haven't talked to you guys in a very long time, so it was
Too long.
Too long.
we start talking about the story. It's like I kind of forget the camera's on. So I'm kind of hoping maybe we'll get a chance to hang out a little more often now and then.
Yeah.
I would love
That'd
that.
be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Come play with us. All right, guys. Thank you again. And next week, I have no idea who's going to be guesting with me because nobody's piped up yet. I know, it's sad. But I have no idea what the topic's going to be because I usually try to cast topics to the people. So keep your eyes on the BRG website, and I'll try to post there when I have any idea what the hell's going on. But that said, we'll see you next week. I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Aww.